Week 11. Day 71, on taking a step forward. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Nora Roberts. When I was battling against my shyness, I set a goal to approach attractive women in the street. I knew that if I did it several dozen times, I would most likely overcome my social fears and transform into a new person. What helped me act, in spite of immense anxiety, was the realization that talking myself out of approaching a woman would certainly equate to a no. Approaching her and getting rejected couldn't worsen my situation. In fact, I could only gain, because even a rejection was still a valuable lesson I wouldn't learn if I'd chosen action. Likewise, many people hesitate to start working on their goals out of a fear of failure or self-doubt. They fail to realize that if they don't take a step forward, they'll be in the same place. Even if they take an unsuccessful step forward and need to backtrack, they'd still gain some experience. There's nothing to lose, and potentially a lot to gain. Are there any goals you'd like to pursue, but are afraid that you'll embarrass yourself or fail? Have you ever considered that not acting on them leads to surefire failure, while an attempt gives you at least a small chance of success and a 100% chance of learning something new? Day 72, on the value of the struggle. To have striven, to have made the effort, to have been true to certain ideals, this alone is worth the struggle. William Osler. We fantasize about the day we receive a trophy, cash out, step on the scales and see the perfect weight, travel to this beautiful place, step into this new spacious house, or marry that beautiful girl or guy. The focus is on the success, not the struggle. And it's understandable. Success is glamorous, memorable, and marketable, while the struggle is drab, disagreeable, and unattractive for the general public. Yet, it's making the effort, struggling, and sticking to your resolutions that shapes you as a person. Success is a reward for having given it your best, but it's not always within your control whether and when you get to enjoy it. Whenever you find yourself discouraged by your lack of success, remind yourself that the process alone is your reward. It's in your hands whether you allow yourself to see the rewards the struggle generates or ignore them, mindlessly pursing the end result as the sole indicator of success. I failed numerous times in business. I could have despaired that I had lost so much time and money, but I hadn't really failed. I had been true to my values of pursuing the entrepreneurial life. I kept going, despite the obstacles I constantly encountered along the way. Over and over again, I beat entrepreneurial depression and found it in myself yet again to get back up and try again. Eventually my efforts paid off, but even if it had taken longer to get the results, or if I had died before reaching them, the struggle would still have been worth it for the immense changes I underwent on the journey to pursue my dreams. Day 73, on having fun. Fun is at the core of the way I like to do business, and it has been key to everything I've done from the outset. More than any other element, fun is the secret of Virgin's success. I am aware that the idea of business as being fun and creative goes right against the grain of convention, and it's certainly not how they teach it at some of those business schools, where business means hard grind and lots of discounted cash flows and net present values. Richard Branson. Building self-discipline and working on your long-term goals doesn't have to be a chore. In fact, if it is, you'll have a hard time reaching success because if something bores you to tears or doesn't produce much excitement, it's difficult to stick to it in the long term. Probably the most common area in which I see most people struggling because of lack of fun is exercise. If you succumb to the popular notion that exercise has to be repetitive, painful, and boring, guess what? A few weeks from now, you'll be back in front of your TV, wondering what motivated you to do such a stupid thing as attending those torturous fitness classes. The only way to develop a permanent habit of regular physical activity is to find an exercise you enjoy. Without the fun factor, exercise will always feel like a chore, and you probably already have enough obligations in your life. The same applies to virtually any other endeavor. I treat my business seriously, but at the same time I'm trying to make it a bit more fun, either by throwing in a joke here and there while writing a book, coming up with a fun writing challenge, or testing new exciting ideas. Do you consider working on your goals enjoyable and fun, or is it mostly a chore? If it's the latter, time to grab a notepad and make a list of things you can do to introduce more fun and excitement. Day 74, on acting less and thinking more. Act less, think more. Reflect on what really matters to you. Stop doing anything that isn't valuable, that doesn't make you happy. Savor life. Richard Koch. This advice goes against the grain, as self-help authors usually suggest to behave the other way around, think less, and act more. The danger in acting more than thinking is that eventually, you'll find yourself working on goals you don't really care that much about, or doing things in a less than optimal way. For example, when I was working on my fitness goals, I acted a lot. I religiously followed my workout schedule and did everything I could to build a strong body, including eating foods recommended for bodybuilders, recording videos of my lifts to improve my technique, and even hiring a fitness coach. I acted a lot, but thought too little. It was only when I stopped and reflected on what mattered to me that I realized that I had never wanted to be a bodybuilder. I was following the wrong ideal, chasing something that didn't make me happy or produce any visible results. Upon this realization, I redesigned my entire approach to fitness and started doing something that finally felt natural instead of forced. Periodically pause and reflect on your own choices. Are you pursuing goals that matter to you? Are you working on your goals in a way that fits your lifestyle, or is there imbalance and disharmony? Day 75, on haters. Luke. Don't give in to hate. That leads to the dark side. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's a fact of life that when you do something worthwhile, you will have haters. People will criticize you for everything and anything, for a variety of reasons. People accused me of a lack of respect toward women merely because I wanted to overcome shyness and be able to talk with attractive females. Others criticized me for my efforts to lose weight and build a fit physique. Yet others laughed at my attempts to build a successful business, claiming that I would never accomplish my ambitious financial goals. Today people criticize my books or send me impolite emails because I annoyed them in some unfathomable way. In the beginning, it bothered me a lot. I wondered if there was something wrong with me, if the people criticizing me knew something that had escaped me. Time passed, and with the growing number of goals I had reached and the trust in myself I had consequently developed, I realized there was no value in the feedback that was coming from haters. Giving in to hate and letting it get to you leads to rancor, a poison that can jeopardize your long-term goals. I'd love to share with you a secret, foolproof way to deal with haters, but in the end the only solution is the most obvious one. You ignore whatever insults and malice they throw at you and focus on yourself instead. We don't know each other, but I know that if you're still reading this book, you're a person who cares about self-improvement and making the world a better place. Don't let the negative individuals instill low self-esteem or doubt in you. I'm sure you have good intentions and the ability to make your dreams come true. Shield yourself from negativity by surrounding yourself with the light side, other people pursuing their goals, empowering books, mentors, and visiting venues or participating in online communities that exhibit positive values. Day 76, on changing your mind. When my information changes, I alter my conclusions. What do you do, sir? John Maynard Keynes. I like to say that self-discipline is a powerful force, but only as long as you apply it deliberately in the right circumstances. Blindly exerting self-control when your efforts are fruitless and unlikely to lead to positive results is dangerous because it's not only a waste of time, but may also lead to bitterness. I was so self-disciplined and yet I failed. Self-discipline is overrated, I'm done with it. A person might exclaim upon realizing that their efforts were for naught, but failing to notice that their self-discipline wasn't to be blamed. It was their wrong use of it that resulted in wasting time. For example, I once worked in the search engine optimization (SEO) industry. I helped clients build backlinks to their websites so that they could rank higher on Google. In addition to client work, I built my own sites. At one point, I had 40 sites, each targeting different keywords and covering a different topic. I was extremely self-disciplined about this business, as I was building new sites every week and constantly writing new articles for them. When my revenue had finally shot up to around $1,000 a month, Google introduced an update to their algorithm and my most successful sites dropped in rankings. My income fell by over 50% overnight. I discovered that it wasn't anything new in the SEO industry. Google periodically introduced new updates and people like me regularly had to rebuild their businesses according to the new rules. Upon realizing that my business would forever stand on wobbly legs, I stopped working on new sites and retreated from the industry. Choosing to stay self-disciplined would have been the wrong choice, because it would probably never lead me to building the lucrative, stable business I was seeking to achieve. From time to time, revise your goals to factor in any new information you have recently acquired. Does it solidify your reasons to keep going, or is it a sign that perhaps you should alter your conclusions and refocus your efforts on something else? Day 77, on hurting yourself with your own judgments. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. Marcus Aurelius. When people who are on a diet slip up, it's not that one-off slip-up that causes them to fail, it's their judgment about it, namely persuading themselves that since they made a mistake, all of their prior efforts are now for naught. What follows is self-guilt, which leads to self-doubt, which awakens the need to self-comfort, usually by eating forbidden foods. After all, in their minds they've already lost, and subsequently ruining their entire diet. A similar phenomenon happens with other goals, too. A person saving money who was forced to spend their entire savings on an emergency expense might consider it a reason to stop saving money. What's the point of saving if one unplanned cost can wipe out the entire fund? Their incorrect judgment of the situation subsequently destroys the positive habit they've built, instead of seeing the situation as a powerful demonstration of how important saving money is. Whenever you find yourself doubting that you can achieve your goal because you made a mistake or failed to hold out against a temptation, remind yourself that it's in your power to give this event either a negative or a positive meaning. You can consider it as a reason to give up or as a valuable lesson that will help you in your future endeavors.